Hey, it's me. This is your daily reminder to start prepping your house for what's to come. First thing I want you to start with is water. So according to FEMA, CDC, most of the federal agencies, they recommend 1 gallon per person per day, and that is for drinking and cooking. So
This is an emergency crisis situation. Yes, the birds are still singing, the sun is coming out, the lights are on, the fans are rotating, we have water coming through our tap. Till we don't. I'm on the edge, and I'm doing everything I can to get my family ready.
If you need medication of any kind, you better go out and buy all the medicines you can get, because in a few months they won't be available. And secondly, start thinking in terms.
The world is witnessing the death of America.
I don't know if everybody is paying attention, but times are getting really hard. I've had a lot of friends that had good jobs for years, being laid off. I've had people hit me up and asking to use me as recommendations and referrals and seeing if I could put them on things. And I'm just paying attention to the climate out here, and it's getting pretty rocky.
You better pay attention. And this isn't fear-mongering. I have no idea what the future holds, even with all the stuff that's going on in the Middle East. I have no idea what's going to happen. And the sad part is most of us, average Americans, don't get to prepare like that.
Look at this. The amount of generators I'm starting to see rich people are buying is insane. What the heck are they preparing? And I keep seeing these solar, are they expecting the grid to go down? Like, I know people are saying there's El Nino coming, but not in our area. We don't get hurricanes. We don't get major storms that take out the electricity. What the heck are they preparing? Because I keep seeing these over and over and over again. People are buying generators, emergency supplies, like buckets worth of emergency supplies. What is going on? What are the rich know that we don't know? What are they prepping? Because I'm starting to be worried. Should I be worried, or is this like camping? I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave in the comments, because I keep seeing these generators. People are buying them up, and I'm always wondering if it's just something that they're just doing as a hobby. All of them decided to, get together and start, buying them. Because this one also takes both gasoline and propane. So this is a Smart Generator 3000.
Black people have been warning about this for several times. But now, when you see more and more white Americans talking about stockpiling water, food, medicine, power backups, and even emergency supplies, I think it's something that raises important questions. Now, why are so many people suddenly preparing for difficult times? Some people believe the country is heading toward, a major economic crisis. Others fear growing global tensions like these issues of war and, political instability, or even the decline of America's influence in the world. But whether these concerns are justified or they are not, but I think there's one thing which is clear. Like many families, especially, from white community, are no longer taking normal life for granted. I mean, is this simply a caution, or do they believe something much bigger is coming? So without further ado, brothers and sisters, let's examine what these people are trying to say and separate facts from speculation. Please drop your thoughts in the comments and let's get into today's discussion. If this is your first time, please subscribe so we can have more of this. What exactly are these people trying to warn? Let's watch this.
hey, it's me. This is your daily reminder to start prepping your house for what's to come. First thing I want you to start with is water. So according to FEMA, CDC, most of the federal agencies, they recommend 1 gallon per person per day, and that is for drinking and cooking. So today, right now, I want you to go figure out how many people you have in your house, and you need to go get a minimal of 5 days worth of water for them. Okay? We buy the 1 gallon containers, which are fantastic. So that way, if we get in a situation where we need them, everybody just gets their 1 gallon container for the day. All right? So check what you have. Make sure that you're rotating your stock if you do have some already in place. Water does expire, and it is important where you store it. You want to store it in a dry, cool place. I'm not sure what the guidelines are for pets. We have 2 big dogs, so we are allocating 1 gallon of water a day for both of them. And I kind of been tracking it, and that's about what they drink on a normal day. So remember, 1 gallon per person in your house per day, a half gallon per pet, depending on the size. All right? That's your action plan for this week. Next week, we're going to go ahead and get you stocked up on non-perishable food sources.
I've told you how many times time's running out. Boy, is it ever. Every day we wake up and Janet tells me something that she found out. And I have things that I know that I don't share. And it all boils down to the fact that people who are dragging their feet for prepping and water storage are absolute fools. I say it stronger. They're fucking fools. Who the hell's going to save your ass? Okay? I don't want you on my team. No. You drag your feet. This is an emergency crisis situation. Yes, the birds are still singing, the sun is coming out, the lights are on, the fans are rotating, we have water coming through our tap. Till we don't. I'm on the edge, and I'm doing everything I can to get my family ready and to always have plan B and plan C. So, if you are waiting for the apocalypse, you're a fucking fool. The time to prep is not when something happens. The time to prep is before it happens. Well, what if it doesn't happen? Oh, God. You have the food and water to use. Don't let it just sit. You'd be a double fucking fool.
I would say the following. First of all, if you need medication of any kind, you better go out and buy all the medicines you can get, because in a few months they won't be available, because the petroleum industry has a big role to play in the production of pharmaceuticals. So that's my first piece of advice. And secondly, start thinking in terms of storing food and any other items that you think you may need, because as this war continues, and it's going to continue, the impact that I talked about earlier is going to be felt here. There is no evidence that anybody in Tehran is going to pop up on the phone, call President Trump and say, oh, we're so sorry, we surrender, we'll do whatever the Israelis want us to do, because that's really what it's all about. Now, we have other interests. We think we're harming China. I don't know what the Chinese will do, but I think the Chinese over the next few weeks, they're going to surprise everybody by what they may be willing to do. I don't know if the Chinese will fly some aircraft into the airspace over Iran and essentially tell us, look, we've had enough, stop, or we'll go to war. Maybe the Russians will do something similar. Who knows? There are any number of things that they could do to signal, that's it, we've had it. But in the meantime, I think you just need to prepare for the worst here. And once the stock market figures out, or the investors, the people in New York that run the financial system, who are largely part of the problem for us, they're going to say, oh my God, and you're going to watch the stock market tank, and you're going to watch the cost of a barrel of oil go up to 200 and potentially all the way to 3. And all of that is going to bring everything inside the United States to a screeching halt. Now, right now, President Trump is betting, based upon what he's hearing from General Kane and others, that with enough explosives, we can win this thing. And what's the win for us? The win is Iran cries uncle. We're surrendering. You can have what you want. We've taken all that we can. We'll do what the Israelis say. I just don't see that happening, Dan.
I don't know if everybody is paying attention, but times are getting really hard. I've had a lot of friends that had good jobs for years, being laid off. I've had people hit me up and asking to use me as recommendations and referrals and seeing if I could put them on things. And I'm just paying attention to the climate out here, and it's getting pretty rocky. I've also had numerous friends tell me how hard it is to get a job right now. It's a lot of interviews. People are going through the interview process and going to 2, 3, 4 rounds of interviewing and still not getting called back. I know people that's putting in 30, 40 applications a day, and they've been doing that for over 30 days. Still not getting anything substantial called back. So I'm like, I don't know if everybody's aware of how bad things are and how bad things are going to get. We're also like on the verge of going to war. There's countries in war right now. And I think because of so much distractions in the media and in like social media and entertainment and people keeping up with all this bullshit online, people are really numb to what's going on outside. But I say all that to say, a storm is coming, and some people have already felt it, but it's nothing like what it's going to feel like when it really hits. All y'all that's buying jewelry, getting new cars, just adding to y'all motherfucking expenses and y'all workload and y'all overhead. I really hope you've taken in consideration that what you're making now might not be what you'll be making in a few months to a year. So you might need to recalculate some of these things before you keep taking on new burdens. Yeah, good luck.
Have you guys seen the reports and stories of these billionaires building bunkers underground like they're expecting some kind of Mad Max situation? And while we're debating over gas prices and rent costs, billionaires are turning missile silos into fucking underground condos. And we're not just talking about basements with canned beans. We're talking about in-ground pools, hydroponic chambers, air filtration systems, even fucking gyms. So what do they know that we don't? I mean, even in light of what's going on in the Middle East, unless they knew it was coming, because this started well before that. I mean, are they just paranoid, just trying to be overly prepared, or are they just suddenly turned into fucking survivalists? I don't think so. Like I said, they usually have more inside information than we do on kind of knowing future events, if that makes sense. But I tell you what, when billionaires start doing shit like this, you better pay attention. And this isn't fear mongering. I have no idea what the future holds, even with all the stuff that's going on in the Middle East. I have no idea what's going to happen. And the sad part is most of us, average Americans, don't get to prepare like that. Does that make sense? Because inflation has kept us pinched where we're just trying to get to the next paycheck, right?
The world is witnessing the death of America. Not from an outside force, but from a low-level con man, a pathological liar, a convicted felon, an adjudicated rapist that also inherited $400 million at birth and still managed to go bankrupt 6 times. Yet he's convinced millions of Americans that he's their savior, that he's this great deal maker, that he's this great leader. It's almost, if it was a movie, we would go see it and we would think it was completely unrealistic. We would think enough people would rise up to stop him, just as we believed the Germans would do that before Hitler seized control of the country and murdered 6 million Jews. You guys, this is happening right now, and we are running out of time fast. Let's look at the facts. You think I'm exaggerating? He's got the courts locked up. He's got the judges terrified. He's got the media terrified. He's suing 60 Minutes right now.
The American dream is so dead, people don't even want to pass it on to their own kids. I read an article about how this is the hugest decline, right, in Americans having children. Americans are not having enough children for the first time in history to replace, themselves, right? But why would somebody bring children into this world, in America specifically? Why would you purposely have a baby in America? Why would a woman even do that? You don't have any control over your body. Government has ultimate control over your vessel. Hell, government will even keep you alive as a host when you're dead just to make sure it can force you to give birth to that baby. So I don't see the benefit for women, frankly, to have babies. America is not a place for families. You know, it's obviously not a place for families. It's not set up that way. They tax families into oblivion. So why would you sign up for that? So no, that's why people aren't having babies. America, if you want young people to have babies, how about you make this economy affordable? Because right now it's not. It's really set up just for rich people to have babies. So go have the rich women. Oh, that's right. They don't want to have rich women have a whole bunch of babies because their kids are not going to work in factories and stuff. It's supposed to be our kids.
Welcome back, brothers and sisters. Now, let's talk about it. You see, when you see more and more people begin talking about preparing for difficult times, which is, coming according to them, I think it naturally makes you wonder what's driving those conversations. What exactly is it that they have seen others are not seeing? What exactly is it that, they are trying to, predict about the future? What exactly is happening? I mean, are they seeing warning signs, or are they simply reacting to uncertain times? What exactly? Not everyone, of course, can afford expensive preparations, but understanding the concerns being raised, I think, it doesn't cost anything. It's always good to know what's coming, whether you can prepare physically, health-wise, you can prepare, even spiritually, if you are somebody who is religious. So anyway, brothers and sisters, let's look at the biggest messages shared throughout this video. Now, in as far as I took much, attention, I think the first message is the importance of being prepared before an emergency, happens, before an emergency, catch you unprepared. Now, throughout the video, several speakers encourage families, they encourage people to keep extra water. Like this normal water we use, extra water, non-perishable food, basic medicines, and other essential supplies, warning that they may not be available as time comes. Now, their main point is not necessarily like a major disaster is guaranteed. Instead, they argue that unexpected events can, happen at any time, whether it's natural disaster, supply shortages, or temporary disruption. But either way, it's always good to be prepared wherever you can. Remember, we also said that sometimes some preparations require you to have extra income, because there's no way you can buy something and stockpile it, yet you are not having food for today. There's no way you can buy food to use next year, yet today you are not having food. It depends. It only needs you to have food for today, and then you can keep for tomorrow. I mean, waiting until shelves are empty or services are interrupted may leave people with fewer options. Now, the people who are giving this advice, the advice is that simple. It's just practical, okay? Practical preparations made over time can reduce stress during difficult situations. Right now, some food are available, some medicines are available. You can buy them in the back, but there can be some time where everybody is looking for that, and so you cannot buy them to use for a long period of time. Now, that was the first message. The second message focuses on growing economic uncertainty. Let's talk about it. Now, in the video, several speakers mention layoffs, rising, living costs, like the cost of living, and the challenges many people face while searching for stable employment. They encourage families to think carefully before increasing expenses. If you have been using $5 $500 for groceries, or $100 for groceries, even $200, before you increase it, think twice, okay? Especially if financial conditions become more difficult at household level. And that doesn't automatically mean the economy is collapsing. No, people are just, trying to predict about what may happen based on the patterns they are observing. It doesn't mean it is actually, collapsing, but it does highlight concerns many households are already, experiencing with the higher costs and, changing job markets. People have been saying the same groceries, I'm buying it now, okay? I was buying the same with a $200 less, okay? Imagine the same basket of groceries you used to buy at $100. Today, the same basket to be full, you need $300. That's what is happening. Now, the third message centers on uncertainty about the future. Now, in the video, some speakers point to global tensions, political debates, and stories about, wealthy individuals investing in, backup systems and emergency supplies. I mean, these observations lead many people to, to ask whether others are preparing because they expect difficult times ahead, or they're just doing it for the sake of. While no one can predict the future with certainty, you can't be 100% sure of what is going to happen, or how it's going to happen, or when exactly it's going to happen. But uncertainty itself is encouraging more families to think about preparedness and financial resilience. Now, I would like to hear from you. Do you think these concerns reflect, reasonable preparation, or are these people trying to overly worried about what is happening? So, what exactly is your thought? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if this is your first time to come to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to like the video if you found some value. But here's the thing, it's always good to be prepared wherever possible. This is not about fear mongering, but these people are just trying to warn. We never know what comes. Maybe, we don't know, maybe, just maybe, it can happen. So if possible, it's always good to prepare, to buy things in advance. If you can manage, if your finances can accept, that will be okay. Otherwise, see you next time, and I'm proud of you.